let me go through this slowly, okay? So what we want to do is first just graph. We know this is a piecewise graph. We know they're connected. They're connected to 0. Everybody agree with that? First graph is going to be greater than 0, so it's going to be on this side. Second graph is less than 0, so it's going to be on the back half, right? So let's try and graph them. To start with, I like to use pencils when I graph these so I can erase the part that doesn't belong, right? So I'll start at 3 on the first one. 1, 2, 3. And I'll go, 1 over 1, right? So from there I'll go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, right? And I'm not going to do the back half because that's where they're connected. And I only want to know where it's greater than 0, so I only do this part of the graph, okay? Got it. Everybody okay with that? Does that make sense? Second graph, same thing. We'll start at 3. And it would be up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. But I'm going the wrong direction because I really want the back half of this graph, right? So even though the graph goes like this, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, I just need the back half of it. So it's still up 2 over 1, but the backwards half, okay? So I would have this part of this graph, and I would not graph over here, right? Because the line goes all the way through, but I'm only going to go and graph the back half. Okay? Thumbs up so far? Okay. Now, translate fx 4 units to the right and 2 units up, okay? So then what I'm going to do is take every single point. I'm going to take every single point. I'm going to move it 4 units to the right. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 2, okay? So this little spot, this little bendy spot, I moved 4 and 2, okay? How's that? So I just took, I'm going to go 4 to the right. So I took 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm really moving, I'll circle, I'm really moving this point right here because that's the bendy point. That's where they're connected, right? So I just move that 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2. Now let me try and redraw my graph. This one was an up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, right? But this graph was 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, okay? Alright. Now, find a new equation for this formula. So right after that, first of all, let's do this y equals for this blue line. Okay, let's call this y1. Okay, let's call it y1. First graph, right? This one is up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, right? So it's y equals 2 over 1x. Okay, with the blue line up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, right? And it goes through at -3, okay? How am I doing? So that's this blue graph right here, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, goes through at -3, right? The second one, y2, let's see. It goes up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, so it's a 1 over 1x. And before it got erased, right? Before it got erased, it would have gone and started at 1. You okay with that? It would have started at 1, right? See, it would have started at 1, but that part got erased. So I'd have here in my equation plus 1. Okay. Now I want to put it and make it look like this f of x thing, right? So I'm going to go, okay, f of x equals, well, I have a x plus 1, right, for that equation. And on this equation, I have a 2x minus 3, right? So I just took the equation here. I do my little squiggly. So I'm going to try and make it look exactly like this, but I've got my new equations, right? Now, where are they connected at? Where are they connected? They're at 4. You guys agree? Now they're connected at 4. So I want to do the same kind of border thing down here, but at 4. Does that make sense? So I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to say if this one is x is greater than or equal to 4, and if x is less than 4. Okay? There is another way to do this, but that's probably the easiest way. You guys okay with that? Doesn't it seem like the easiest way to do this one? Okay. Example 2. Am I going too fast? Am I okay? Yeah, Evie, go ahead.
Why is there a 4?
Right here. Okay, great. So, I'm glad you asked these questions. Okay, so right here, two graphs are connected right there, right? Here and here. So we say one is greater than 0 and the other is less than 0, right? But when I move the graph here, where are these two graphs connected?
Oh, yeah, I get it.
F4, right? Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Move it up. Okay. All right. Okay. Example number 2. So it's a parabola. Do you guys agree? It's definitely a parabola. Let's start down at -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Remember how to do the parabola? We'll do the 1, 1, 2, 4, right? We'll do 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How am I doing? Okay. 1, 1, 2, 4, and 3, 9. It looks like that, okay? Again, what I like about this chapter is we go back through all the things that we already know. That's the good part about finishing with this chapter, right? We've done these parabolas lots of times, right? Now, where are the x and y-intercepts, okay? So, x-intercepts, let me circle them for you. Okay, my x-intercepts are here and here, right? Because where it crosses the x-axis, right? So my x-intercepts are at 2, 0, and -2, 0. Everybody okay with that? Right? 2, 0, -2, 0. And my y-intercept has to be right here, right? That's my y-intercept, right? Where it crosses the y-axis, and that's going to be at 0, -4. Okay? How am I doing? Am I okay? If I go slowly enough, you guys pay attention. I know we can do this. I know we can, okay? So, thumbs up on that. X and Y intercept seems pretty easy, okay? Now, graph 2 of f of x. Now, to get f2 of f of x, what we're going to have to do is this. We're going to have to make the graph twice as tall, right? You guys agree with that? So the graph now is going to be, this 2 is going to make it twice as tall. Well, if I did twice as tall with this graph, I'm going to use blue again, alright? I'm here at 0, so if I go over 1, I go up 1, right? Remember how we did this? But I go, instead of going up 1, let's go twice as tall. Let's go up to 2, alright? So now I do 1, 1. Instead of 1, 1, I'm going to go 1, 2, twice as tall, okay? Now I go 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, but twice as tall, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? Then we can do the same thing here. We can go 2, 1, but it's a 1, 1. Instead of 1, 1, I'll go 1. I'll go up to 2. 2 instead of going up to 4, right? I'm going to go twice as tall, so I go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go twice as tall, so I go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, you guys see that? Josie?
Wait, so it goes up over 1, up 2, over 2, up 8?
So when we square it, you ready? Yes, you said it right. We go 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9. You with me? 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, okay?
Yeah.
Now let's go twice as tall. So 1, 1, we're going to go 1, 2. 2, instead of 4, we go to 8.
Okay.
And I would go 3, 18, Jost, but that's off my graph, right? It's way off my graph, okay? Now, what about the x and y-intercepts, okay? So the y-intercept didn't change, did it? You guys agree? Y-intercept didn't change. That's easy. So the y-intercept on this one is just going to strictly be plain old 0, -4, okay? But now what about these x-intercepts, okay? What about these x-intercepts? Well, how can we get this without graphing? Okay, let's think about this. What is the height of the x-intercept? What is the height of the x-intercept? 0, right? So let's set it equal to 0. But let's set the 2f of x equal to 0, okay? I don't want to confuse you, but think about this. An x-intercept is where the crosses the x-axis, right? X-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. And that would be a height of 0. So we set it equal to 0. Now, f of x. What is f of x? Well, f of x was the x squared minus 4, wasn't it? Looks like algebra, okay? Great question. The y, how do you set x equal 0? Does that make sense, Sarah?
No, you can't do it. You should just eyeball it.
Right. You could throw in, but you can't eyeball this one because you can't tell exactly what it is, okay? So how am I going to get this? Because this is some decimal. You guys agree? That's like maybe 1.5, 1.4. How do we get the exact answer? So here's what I did, okay? At this spot, the graph is equal to 0, right? At this spot, the graph is equal to 0. So I set it equals 0, okay? But I want to know when it's 2, I want to know when it's the 2fx. Well, fx, what is fx? Well, it is the x squared minus 4, okay? So now I've got some algebra to do. So what I did is I set the 2f of x equal to 1, okay? Let's solve for x. What are you going to do? We're going to get 2x squared minus 8, right? Plus 8. Oh, I think I might have a mistake in here. I have a mistake. Darn it. It's going to be the square root of 8.
Wait, but this doesn't fit.
It is going to be square. Okay, I'm going to come back to this because I know it's the square root of 8, and I want to show you why it's the square root of 8.
I got
What'd you get?
-4 and 2, but that's not right.
No, it's going to be the square root of 8. It's going to be the square root of 8 because I needed to multiply the height, which is square root of 8 is going to be the answer, plus or minus. Okay, flip the page and I'll come back to this one, okay?
Okay, but if you factor square, it's 2 times square.
We get 2 and negative 2, don't we? Right, Sarah?
Well, you get 2x plus 4
And what? Which would give you a negative 2 and a positive 2. But I don't want those. I want the square root of 8. Okay. Yes, Will.
Since it's 8 tall and it's 4 and 4, can't you just divide by half and that's 1.5?
It's not exactly because you're squaring it, okay? It really is the square root of 8. Okay. Ready to turn the page? Alright, let's go through this one slowly, okay? Alright, another piecewise graph. We can do this, okay? So, we got 3 graphs. Let's do the first one. This is my graph 1. Y1 is 110x. Alright. Yeah, I sure can, okay? How do we graph this? Okay, any idea? So I could start at 0. Okay, but we're not going to do it this way, okay? Okay, I could start at 0. And I could go up 110 and over 1, up 110 over 1, up 110 over 1. That's going to be a pain, right? However, let's do it this way. Let's make a little T-chart for this one, okay? So I plug in 0, what do I get? If I plug in 0, okay, if I plug in 0, what do I get? If I plug in 1, what do I get? 110, which is about there. If I plug in 2, what do I get? 220. Now this is going to be kind of tedious. Why don't I plug in 12? You okay if I plug in 12? How would that help me out if I plug in 12? Then I'd be able to connect the points, right? So I plug in 12. Let's say 110 times 12 makes, I don't know, 110 times 12. I should be able to do this in my head, but you know, 110 times 12, I get 1,320, okay? So 12, I'm going to go 200, 4, 6, 8, 1,000. 12, 1,320 is about there. There's my first graph. Okay, there's my first graph.
And you just go like through the origin?
Yes, why did I start at the origin? Because of the 0, right? Okay, now, how would I graph the next graph? How would I graph the next graph? Anybody know? There's no x. It's straight across at 13. It's straight across at 1320, okay? Hang in, you guys. I know it's hot. Hang in there, okay? So how to graph this one? Straight across at 1320, but I'm only going to graph this between 12 and 18, right? So there's 18. This graph looks like that. Does that make any sense? Josie says yes. One person says yes. 1320, there's no x, so it's a straight across line, and it's straight across from 12 to 18, okay? Now, this darn thing, if I can make an adjustment, this would help me a whole lot. So I'm going to fix this so it makes it a little bit easier. But I think it says start at 18 and go up 150. So let's go ahead to get this graph. Let's plug in, we say we plug in 24. If I plug in 24, that'd give me a point over here. So am I making any sense or am I confusing you, okay? Am I confusing you? I just don't want to do the whole thing. So if I plug in, let's plug in 24. Let's let x equal 24 into this. It's the last number on my graph. Yeah, good question. 150 times 24 minus 18 plus 1320. Let me do that on my calculator real quick. 150 times 24 minus 18 plus 1320. And I get 2,220. So let's see, there's my 2,000. Okay, there's my graph, okay? All right. Whew. Finish this up. All right. Let's make this easy. Yes, Avery.
How do you actually figure out the x-intercepts and y-intercepts in the graph?
When you're graphing,
Without graph.
so to find the x-intercepts, you set the equation equal to 0 and solve. So I'll put it down, okay, real quick. X-intercepts, let y equal 0. Y-intercepts, let x equal 0, okay? Okay, now, if the fee increased by 10%, find a new equation, model this graph. Okay, let's make this easy. Want to see how easy we can do this? Let's make this easy. So the new graph is going to be f of x equals, you ready? Let's make this easy. 10%, what's that as a decimal? 0.1. So if we want to increase it by 10%, let's increase by 1.1. Okay, I'll show you why. So if I want 10% of something, I'd make it 0.10, right? But if I wanted to have my original plus the 10%, I'd have 100%. That's my original plus my 10%. I'm going to go ahead and make it plus the 1.10%, okay? So let's just increase everything by 1.1. So to make this easy, I'm just going to go 1.10 times my 110x. I'm going to make this 1.10 times my 1320. And I'm going to make this 1.10 times my 150 times my x minus 18 plus my 1320. And we'll leave it there. We could simplify it and we'll leave it there just simply because you guys are hot and tired, right? You guys are ready to... I can see it in your eyes. I'm losing you, aren't I? Uh-huh. Yes, I know. That's when I'm going to stop there. If I can... Yeah, Jonna?
Can you just explain the part you did on the board really fast? Like
Yes.
Why you did 100%?
Yeah.